Welcome to today's video, which will be an overview of Discovery Health's 2021 Medicaid plan. So the best way for me to go through the 2021 Medicaid plans is to start right at the very bottom. If we look at the bottom of the range plan of the Discovery Health range, it will be the KeyCare plan. Now the KeyCare plan, I'm not going to go into too much detail on each one of these plans in this video. There will be separate videos for each one of those plans. You'll be able to look at the link when I chat to each plan as we go through it. So the KeyCare plan has three different options. You got the KeyCare Start, which is the bottom of the range option. This is not a very popular plan because when it comes to hospitalization, they focus mostly on government hospitals. However, they've got a phenomenal day-to-day benefit. So if someone's looking for mostly day-to-day cover, this is one of the options. However, like I said, this is not a very popular plan. The two very popular plans on the KeyCare range are the KeyCare Plus and the KeyCare Core. The KeyCare Core is basically a plan that offers you only day-to-day cover. It does not cover anything outside of the hospital. So for emergencies, they'll rush you to the nearest closest hospital and you'll be fully covered. Once you're stabilized, they'll take you to one of the KeyCare network hospitals. The KeyCare Plus works exactly the same as the KeyCare Core when it comes to hospitalization. However, they've got a wonderful network of GPs. And if you need to go to the GP, you can go as many times as you want in a year. A very important point to notice on the KeyCare plans is they are income-based plans. So everyone on the plan needs to earn between those different brackets. So if you're earning 0 to 8,550 Rand per month, these are the rates. 1,207 Rand for the main member, 1,207 Rand for the second person, the adult or the spouse, and each child is 439 Rand. And so you could look at the KeyCare Core and the KeyCare Plus plans. Then moving on to the Core series. The Core series is only hospitalization. Once again, you can tap on the link now to go to the next movie that goes into more detail on the Core series. However, the Core series, when it comes to day-to-day, there's no cover whatsoever. You are only covered for emergencies in any hospital in the country and for planned procedures. The difference between the plan procedures on these different plans is the classic plans cover you at 200% of Medicaid rates, and the essential core covers you at 100% of Medicaid rates, as well as the coastal core. The essential plans and the coastal plans, you will need gap cover with this to make sure that you do not have any shortfalls. Moving on now, we've got the smart plan, which is like a upper network sort of plan, very similar to the KeyCare plans, just a much broader network of doctors. There's two options, the classic smart, which covers you at 200% of Medicaid rates in the network of providers, and the essential smart, which covers you at 100% of Medicaid rates. Both plans for emergencies, you're covered in any hospital in the country, but for planned procedures, you would need to go to one of the smart networks. Then when it comes to day-to-day, you have a network of providers, once again, that you would need to work with. And also, if you go to the far right, you'll see main member is 1954 on the classic, essentials 14, and then each adult dependent and that going through. An important distinction here to notice is the essential smart. Throughout the option, it's 1,400 Rand per person that you add on, whereas on the classic smart plan, it tapers down. So if you're more than one person, then the classic smart plan might be a more cost-effective option for you. Then moving along now to our last new generation option is what we call the Saver plan. Now, the Saver plan has a variety of different options. Once again, the two classic plans cover you at 200% of Medicaid rates. The essential covers you at 100% of Medicaid rates, as also with the coastal plan. Now, a lot of people say, why should I take a Saver plan? Because I might as well save that money myself. The big distinction between the Saver plan and the Core plan is not just the money that you're putting into the savings account. Now, the big thing that we deal with on a daily basis from a claim perspective is MRI and CT scans from an investigation perspective. So both plans, if you land up in an emergency and you need an MRI and CT scan, you will be fully covered. However, if you land and you hurt your leg and you need to be rushed to casualties, remember, casualties is not part of the hospital. It's a glorified doctor's room that is on the hospital premises, so that if they need to admit you into hospital, they're on the premises. However, if you need to go for an investigative MRI or CT scan, so they're trying to determine what the cause is of the damage or where the pain is coming from, the core series does not cover that at all, because these MRI and CT scans are done in radiology, and radiology is not in hospital. When it comes to the Saver plan, what happens there is you get a co-payment of about 3,000 Rand, and then over and above the co-payment, Discovery will pay for the MRI and CT scans in full. Why am I telling you this? Because these MRI and CT scans start at 5,000 Rand and they can go into the thousands of Rands per scan. Once again, a good way to read the rates table for the Coastal Saver plan, which is the most common one, is it's 2,087 Rand for the main member. And then additional 521 Rand, which goes into the medical savings account every single month, which gives you a total of 2,608. Then if you want to add on people, then those are the different amounts that you need to add on. What they've done, if you go right to the bottom, they've actually pre-populated the medical savings account over here. Annual medical savings account, Coastal Saver. If you're just one person, you get 6,252 per annum. If you main member plus a spouse, then you'll get the 6,252 plus a 4,704. The nice thing about the Saver plan is anyone can use the savings account. You don't have to use the amount that's allocated to the person. Anyone can use it. So that's the big things between the Saver series, and also the difference between the Saver series and the Core series. Then moving on to the traditional Medicaid scheme. So these are the schemes that were back in the day where you would pay an arm and a leg off, but you would be fully covered. However, it's a very important distinction to determine for yourself if it's worth it, because it doesn't matter if you can afford it. It all revolves around, do you need that sort of cover? The priority plan is the least favorite plan on the Discovery Health range for us. The reason being is because for the priority plans, there's about 13 different procedures. If you have to go for those procedures, you will get a deductible, which is basically a fancy word in America that is pretty much putting down a deposit and not getting your money back. That's not something that you want to do, because those 13 procedures are very common procedures. So we kind of avoid these plans like a plague. Then the comprehensive plan, which is the second best options within Discovery. And once again, you've got the classic options, essential options, and the classic smart option. These plans will just vary in price because they have different amounts of money in your savings account. We've also got the executive plan, which is the top of the range plan within the Discovery range. And that plan is 7,257 Rand. So important thing that we do is we say, okay, what's the difference between the Coastal Saver and the executive plan? We can see there's a massive difference in premium, close to 5,000 Rand a month. And then we say, well, on the Coastal Saver, you're already getting 6,000 Rand for the year. If you take the 5,000 Rand savings and you times that by 12, that gets you to 60,000 Rand, plus the 6,000 Rand savings, which gets you to 66,000 Rand for the year. And the first question we say, is your day-to-day expenses for the year going to be below 66,000 Rand or more than 66,000 Rand? If it's below, then it's cheaper for you to go to the Coastal Saver plan. And if it's above, then it's obviously worth your while to explore the executive plan at that point. However, if we go into more detail on the executive plan, the comprehensive plan, and also the priority series, what happens there is, let's start with the executive plan, for example. You're going to get a savings account of, let's call it 22,000 Rand for the year. Then we need to go to what we call the annual threshold amount. Now, the annual threshold amount is basically the amount that you need to spend from a day-to-day perspective before Discovery kicks in again and starts covering your costs. Now, once again, you can see on the executive plan as a main member, you've got 22,000 Rand in your savings. Now, that once that 22,000 Rand is spent, there's a gap between the 22,000 and the 26,000 of about 4,000 Rand. So we call that a self-payment gap. So that gap of 4,000 Rand needs to be paid you need to buy benefits, doctor's visits, and medicine, all that before you get to the 26,300 threshold amount or annual threshold, before Discovery starts kicking in again. And that applies to the comprehensive plans and also the priority plans. These plans are quite tricky. So once you get to looking at these options, it's worth a while to sit down and explore it together. Hope that this video has helped you guys. I hope it's given you a good perspective of where the different options fit in together. If you enjoyed that, please give us a thumbs up. If you have any further questions, please feel free to put some questions in the comments below. And if you feel any family members would benefit from a video like this, feel free to share it with them. Have a lovely day. Bye.